What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dirt to Whiskey. My name is Billy. That is Mike. We have special guest Sean P. Holman. We have Kaylee joining us from the start today, so you know it's going to be a fire episode. How is everybody?
Fantastic.
I'm sorry, did you say we were on the Dirt to Whiskey podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, aren't you normally on?
Oh, crap.
This isn't your podcast. Are you lost?
I came in the wrong door.
Wrong studio.
Yeah, it's the wrong studio. Well, if you guys don't have anybody booked, I'll just hang out because I found out this studio has whiskey. So
Yeah, you don't normally have that. The only thing you guys drink is Dr. Pepper.
copious amounts.
So, Billy, what are you drinking?
Oh, today I went all out and got Big Mustache whiskey. High quality, 100 proof, handcrafted Tennessee whiskey. And I got to say, it's honestly,
Your audio cut out for a second. Is it Mustache Rider or what is it?
Yes. Who wants a mustache ride? It's actually really good. It's worth every penny.
The mustache ride or the whiskey?
I'm going to have to go with both.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
You like Mustache Rides, huh, Billy?
Get them,
There you
whatever.
go.
I must ask you a question.
There we go.
Listen, it doubles your chances. So
So
Actually,
I don't know
that's
why
not
I
true.
decided to be on
It
this
doubles
one.
your chances of a second time,
that's
but
true,
it's
too.
actually halves your chances of a first time. That's the problem with the mustache, because people who love the mustache are in and they're in again. People hate the mustache, won't give you the time of day. So the thing is, like, if you're in, you're good. Mustache ride, 100% opportunity, 100% going to happen again. But you only get 50% of the pool out of the gate.
interesting.
Pro tip for
numbers.
life right there.
But if they're not down with the stash, do you really want them anyways?
No.
A solid point.
Yeah, no,
You
they
know?
can kick rocks.
That's right.
So so we're drinking. So since you did stumble in here and you're not drinking Dr. Pepper, we're doing a Woodford Reserve Double Oaked.
This is actually one of my favorite daily drinkers. This is great with a cigar. It's great, neat. It's I don't know what the proof on this particular one is. Let's see. It's 45.2 alcohol by volume.
90.4.
Is that right?
I think it's double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice because it's a lot of flavor, but not a lot of burn. You don't need to have any rocks in it. It's a really good daily sipper and
It's chocolatey.
one of my favorite go-tos.
Yeah, definitely. Well, cheers, everybody. Kaylee, what are you drinking?
I'm just having a small glass of Miramonte Pinot Grigio. It's a hot day in Southern California, so I thought I'd have it.
100%. That is a cold glass. You poured it right out of the fridge, didn't you?
I sure did.
I knew it. And before that, you were all about Yellowtail from the 7-Eleven cooler.
Is this
Yeah.
dirt to wine?
Dirt to
There's
Pinot.
It was
Yeah.
dirt to tequila earlier because I pre-gamed like I usually do on Saturday and Cadillac margaritas. But here we are with whiskey, and so we're gonna start out with the we're gonna start out with the double oaked, and then guess what I have sitting here? I got a bottle of Wild Turkey that went into the bottle before anybody sitting on this podcast was born. Long story short, my wife's aunt had it. They used to own a bar, family owned a bar. And apparently this bottle was squirreled away somewhere, and I opened it, and we'll see if it's good to drink or if
I
it's good
can't
for stripping paint off your
Yeah.
GPW.
So Wild Turkey isn't always like the greatest, especially
No.
modern Wild Turkey.
No.
But vintage Wild Turkey, it has Austin Nichols' name on it. I'm in.
Well, we're going to find out.
All right.
So, Holman, obviously, we know what you do for a living. Probably, I would hope most anybody listening to this podcast has heard of you or knows what you do for a living. But in case somebody who's listening hasn't, why don't you give us a rundown of what you do?
Today or
In
amalgamation of all the things I do.
the big picture of Holman.
Yeah. So basically, I work for MotorTrend. I've been there almost 20 years, and I run all the truck and off-road group content. So come from four-wheeler, Peterson's 4 and Off-Road, JP, Diesel Power, Truck Trend, all those magazines.
All the good stuff.
Truckin', yeah. So I started at Truckin' back in 2003, and I've been the tech editor at four-wheeler, the editor-in-chief of Diesel Power, and so a lot of trucks and off-roading in my life. I realized early on that when I first got into magazines, everybody wanted to drive a Lamborghini, and nobody really appreciated off-roading in trucks. Nobody was an expert. And I figured out early on that if I planted my flag there, which is what I love to do anyway, that that would be a good career move for me. And it has done that, because now I'm the go-to guy when it comes to anything truck and off-road. And I've got a great team of people. If you're in the off-road industry, guys like Ken Brubaker and Christian Hazel and Vern Simons and Jason Gonderman and KJ Jones and Jared Corfage. We just have a great team of really enthusiastic people out there who know their stuff. So it's awesome. And then my other job is I host another podcast, which is called the Truck Show Podcast.
Yeah, nobody's ever heard of that podcast.
No, it's dumb. Podcasts will never catch on. Pity anybody who puts any time into it. I do that, and then I'm on the board of director of some nonprofits and for desert and history and stuff like that. And I've got a bunch of I've got a vintage 1942 Ford GPW that I'm in the middle of working on. I've got a 20 AEV JL that does all my exploring, and so
that's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack.
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I don't get to sleep much. I'm tired
already. Yeah,
it might be the whiskey though.
Yeah, how much have you had to drink before we started, Billy?
no, this is hair of the dog.
Really?
I may have went a little last night, and I ran out of whiskey halfway through, so I finished up with vodka.
Well, I was late because I was grinding and welding with my neighbor on the GPW, and we may have started early, and I may have pre-gamed with like 5 or 6 beers.
So the welds will be somewhat straight.
I let him weld.
There you
but
go.
he was also we was into about 10 beers though.
Okay, so that it's a bell curve, and
that was his payment.
So you have to get the right amount of liquor for the welds to turn out right.
And they did, and I'm super happy with it. Those things left the factory twisty and wavy, and then certainly after World War II were left that way. So we patched some holes, and it's still twisty and wavy. So
as God intended.
God intended.
Keeping it original.
So this one's cool because it's a Ford Jeep, which is rad. So I actually have a sticker that a friend of mine gave me at Moab Eastern Jeep Safari this year. It's the blue oval with Ford script, except it says Jeep in the middle of it, which is like the raddest sticker ever. And so that is proudly adorning the 42 GPW, which turned 80 in March this year.
Did either of you two know that Ford made the Willys during World War II?
Yes, I did know that.
So for those of you who didn't, the background of that is Willys and Ford and Bantam all basically put in proposals to replace the horse. And so this was back in the late 30s, early 40s. And Ford had the best design, but was low on power. Or someone might say Bantam did. Willys, or Willis as it should be pronounced. So anybody who has a Willys edition Jeep, stop saying Willys. It's really Willis. But anyway, Willys, whatever. They had the Go Devil motor, which had 60 horsepower, which was way more horsepower than everybody else. The military attracted to power, gave them the contract. Well, they didn't have the manufacturing infrastructure to build enough of them for the military and then the impending war effort. And so the military turned around and said, "Hey, Henry Ford, you lost the contract, but you're going to build these vehicles." So GPW is basically, I don't know what it's like general purpose or general passenger Willys design. And that's what GPW stands for. Whereas the Willys equivalent is an MB because the vehicle they put through the testing was an MA. So the MB is what the follow-on that went into production was. But what's really funny about it is the early ones have Ford script on the back quarter panel. Mine should, but it's so roached, that's all gone. The reason is Henry Ford, being the crotchety old fuck, can I say it?
Yeah, you can say it.
All right, cool. Crotchety old fuck that he was super egotistical and knew that he could manufacture things better than Willis could. And so they started putting Ford script on the back of these things, and every little bolt and every stamping has an F on it for Ford, so that you knew that it was a Ford and not a Willys.
All the way down to the valves in the engine.
Everything, because they were literally a Willys design. And so Ford made a couple changes. So for those of you who are like flat fender spotters out there, Willis used a pipe, basically a tube for the front cross member. Ford stamped a U-shaped one, and then the toolbox lids on the back. Ford has a design stamped into the rectangle, where the Willis are just a flat piece of metal, because Ford wanted to show their manufacturing acumen. And the whole deal was, not only was it a pissing contest with Ford and Willis, but they said we didn't want to do the warranty work on Willis's crappy builds. So we put Ford on this, so we do the warranty work. Well, when the war started and we got sucked into World War II, the maintenance depots essentially took over that work. And so it was no longer needed because, it wasn't going to the manufacturers for warranty work. And Ford and Willys were told, because Willys also started stamping their name in the back as an FU to Ford, I guess. We're told, no, these are government vehicles. You don't put your name on a government vehicle. And so the later ones don't have any of that stuff, which is cool.
So have you taken it to the Ford dealer to see if it has any open recalls?
Well, they wouldn't know what to do with it because you actually have to have mechanical ability. You can't just replace modules, and there's nothing to plug into.
There's no OBD2 port. So
yeah,
man.
Sorry.
So
see, you call him crotchety, but that's like key pettiness there, and
that's something I would do.
Yeah,
So,
super passive aggressive. Oh yeah, well we'll show you. My name's going on everything.
That's funny.
I love it,
man. So Billy, what's new with you?
Oh,
anything?
Yeah, I feel lame. No, working. Cruiser's going in this week. Going to get that other seat put in. It'll be matching. Pretty psyched on that. Did a thermostat yesterday, coolant flush. Just making sure it doesn't blow up on my way to P&W Expo.
Did you take out a small loan to pay for the gas to get to P&W?
No, not yet.
Because we're $7 a gallon here for 91.
This was last week. Did I show you my picture from last week?
I saw your picture from last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that one hurt.
Which one is that?
That was the full fill up of the TRX. I'll let you read it off here.
Oh, come on. I got a Cummins Ram. That's not that bad. So, I was like, oh, that's it?
195.40 for 31 gallons.
Yeah, that's a lot.
31. That thing was bone dry.
Oh, I know. 33-gallon tank. I went all the way to the end. I was trying to be like Kramer in that Seinfeld episode where they're driving the Saab with the fuel light on to see how long they can go. So I'm known for that at work. Like everybody hates traveling with me because I always run it all the way to the minimum. But from like FCA vehicles or Stellantis vehicles that there's a pretty big buffer. There's always like 10% more.
There used to be in the JK. I don't trust the JLs because I know the early JLs, it seemed like as soon as it said like range was like 0, it was conking out.
Oh no, JLs are just as bad as JKs, which with the light coming on early. At least my 20 is. So
I had a Grand Wagoneer run out of gas in the tent bay on Friday.
Well, yeah, because your stupid company only puts 7 gallons in new cars now. That's not going to get a Grand Wagoneer very far.
No, yeah,
that's horrible. So I was in a GM product, ran it to the light came on and it said distance to empty 20 miles. Well, distance to empty was 15, whereas distance to empty of 20 miles on a FCA product is usually about 40 miles.
Yeah, I usually like my Jeep when the needle gets below E.
Yeah,
like I still have probably 4 gallons left in the tank.
I always hated that about my JK. It was like I'm at E and I still have literally 5 gallons left.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool that you guys got low fuel lights.
do you not have a low fuel light? The kids just have to get out and push.
Well, I just don't run out of gas. Yeah.
Oh, so you're rich. The humble brag,
right?
Are you too good for us?
Yeah, it is. With the swap in there, the gauge. I don't know. I don't trust it. It floats a little bit.
Might be time to swap it a gauge.
Yeah.
No. Listen, it's got a hatch in the back. You dip you put the wooden dowel stick back in there, see how much gas you have in the tank.
Yeah, well, that's what I do with the GPW. I echo when I yell into it. Yeah, we're out of gas.
That's crazy. Kaylee, how's your truck search going?
Yeah, I asked you a question today and you never responded.
Yeah, that's how it's going, Mike.
Apparently not good.
Well, listen, in all fairness, your bedliner question was after the Cadillac Margarita session. So the only thing you got back was the time moved, and you're lucky you got that.
Hey, Kaylee, you can ask me and I'll answer it for you.
How much does a spray-in bedliner will that run me?
Short bed or long bed?
Short.
Over the rail or under the rail?
We only do under the rail anymore.
Tailgate or no tailgate?
We only do tailgate.
I'm going to say $695.
I won't. I'm not going to tell you on air what you're going to pay for it, but it's not going to be $695. So there you go.
Okay, what would the average person pay for it?
$695.
Yeah.
Nice job.
The average. What's the average person pay for this, Mike?
So it's funny. It's like I tried to get a hold of someone at a Ford dealer, and I got nothing.
Love
Yeah.
that for me.
Everybody's
Yeah.
the fleet guys can't be bothered unless you want 10 Rangers.
Exactly. Or 10 Amazon vans.
Yeah. So did you find something?
I found one, and they keep calling me to see if I'm going to come look at it. And it has everything. It's just that it doesn't have the spray and bed liner. So I was like, is that
That's
something
an easy
that?
fix.
Yeah.
That's an easy
Better to
fix.
get aftermarket spray and bed liner from like Line-X or something anyway, because they're going to spray it thicker. The factory ones are like 1 or 2 mils, and I believe like Line-X is like 4 mils. So you're going to have a lot more durable. And here's my pro tip on the spraying: get the UV stabilization in
Absolutely.
it, because they don't do that from the factory, which is why all the factory spray and bed liners get chalky and white.
That's why mine looks gray.
Yeah, you can have the UV inhibitor put in on the aftermarket ones. That'll keep your bed liner looking better a lot longer.
Awesome. Okay, that's really good to know. And it's white, and I'm trying to decide if I want white.
I hate white trucks because it reminds me of like a termite truck or something.
Yeah.
So what you have to do, the only way to get over that is you have to think in my mind, I did this on purpose because it's a stormtrooper truck. And once you decide that you're cool enough to have a stormtrooper truck, then you can live with white.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's Stormtrooper or Orkin, or the Orkin man, one of the two.
Yeah.
So that's what I was telling Liz. I was like, I don't know about white, and she's like, why? I was like, because it could be a work truck. Like it looks like a work truck, and she had mentioned that. Oh well, after everything you're gonna do to it, it won't look like a work truck anymore. I'm like, you're right. And if I black some
Hide
stuff
scratches off road, you do a bronze or a black wheel or a anthracite wheel, and that'll save all that. So
is it the Ranger Tremor, Kaylee? Is that what you're after? Nice.
Yeah.
So Tremor's actually a really nice package. It's more than stickers and badges. There's got some different geometry in the front, and the Foxes, which aren't necessarily my favorite on OE trucks, are actually pretty well tuned on that one. It's really soft on the highway, almost too soft for me, but off road you get a little bit of speed, and it's actually really capable. I actually like it a little bit more than the TRD Pro on the Tacoma.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So all the things that I could do to this very awesome Ranger, I'm gonna get. What would you say are like the top 3 things I need to do right off the bat?
I would say if you're not planning on lifting it, then I would put a more aggressive tire on it. You already have a decent suspension, and it's already lifted a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I would probably do your bed liner. And normally I always tell people the very first thing you do when you go buy a new truck, go get better shocks, whether they're the OE aftermarket Bilsteins or Foxes, it doesn't matter, because most of the OE shocks, especially the Foxes, are dog crap from the factory, but their aftermarket shocks are really good. And so there's a market improvement of upgrading. Your truck actually has a decent set of shocks on it to begin with. So I would spend my money elsewhere. I would definitely take off the steps, because the Tremor steps hang too low, get a rock slider on it, get an aggressive tire, do your bed liner, and go enjoy it.
Ooh. Oh, I love it. All right, I'm going to go buy it. So
and then buy a ground
There you
tank.
go.
Did I just sell a Ford to somebody?
Yeah, you might have.
So I guess that's a good segue for us. What is your current favorite mid-size pickup?
So normally I would say Gladiator's up there, but it's not really a good pickup. It's not really a good Jeep.
No.
It just sort of exists in its own space. So I don't really consider it a midsize, honestly. And I know it's coming, so it definitely tarnishes it for stuff that's out right now. Chevy Colorado ZR2, even though I hate the interior and it's way too under-tired, that truck with 33s is amazing. 35s even better with the AEV fender kit. ZR2 all day long, best midsize truck out there. Tacoma is absolute dog shit. Screw everybody who's buying a Tacoma right now. You're buying it on its name alone. Has a horrible transmission. It has a gas guzzling engine. It has no power compared to the competition. It has spongy, soft, grabby brakes, and the chassis is C-channel in the back, where everybody else moved on to fully boxed a long time ago. So fight me on it. The Tacoma's a piece of crap.
Have you listened to our podcast before?
And I think they're pretty much drum in the rear, right?
Still drum in the rear. So if you're like, oh, but it's no, walk away, stop drinking the Toyota Kool-Aid. It's not a good truck. And the Chevy Colorado, shitty interior, but the truck itself is a great truck. The ZR2 with the Multimatics is fantastic. It just has a little too small of a tire on it. But overall, it's really good. I also Ranger's up there. I don't like the interior on that either. It feels a little too economy car. The new Ranger coming kind of fixes that. And it's really marshmallowy and soft. If you are doing a lot of miles, and not necessarily off-road, the Ranger is great because it's super comfortable for long miles, and that little 2.3 with the 10 speed's awesome. And honestly, the dark horse for me right now is the Nissan Frontier.
Yeah, I like the Frontier a lot.
The looks are great. The tech is competitive. It's quiet. It is based on the old F Alpha platform, but let's compare Frontier.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, let's compare Frontier to Tacoma for a second. Tacoma, C-channel in the back. Look at any Toyota. The transfer case hangs down below the frame rails, and you have that little skid plate that goes under it. Frontier, everything is tucked up above the bottom of the frame rail. It comes with Bilsteins from the factory on a Pro 4X. Comes with a rear locker. I swapped the tires out, but it's a great-looking truck. Best-in-class horsepower. That 9-speed automatic is really good, and it's one of the most reliable out of all the mid-size trucks. You're just not going to have a problem with it. And it's maybe not as sexy in the tech or interior materials as some of the other stuff that's out there or what's coming. It's a really good, solid truck. You can probably get a good deal on it compared to some of the markups elsewhere. You should definitely look at it if you're in the market for a midsize truck.
Nice.
There you
That
go.
pretty much covers it.
So then, all right, I have more research to do.
No, what? Just pull the trigger already.
I know.
Honestly, you can't go wrong with any of those.
Yeah, I would say that
You could. You go wrong with the
ZR2 is going to be
Tacoma.
hard to find, but the next gen ZR2 coming out is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's going to blow your mind. But on the current trucks, I would get a Frontier. And then right now, Nismo is making a upgraded suspension package that you can get for it, which has the Bilstein 6112s and the 5160s, I believe, in the rear. Those are the exact same shocks, at least the 6112s in the front, that came on the old Tacoma TRD Pro and 4Runner before they switched to Fox. It has an RCO, JCO, which is an internal bump stop and internal jounce limiter in that shock. You don't have to package a bump stop in it. It'll give you more wheel travel, gives you a little bit of a lift. If you're going to get the Nissan, go get those shocks from Nismo, call it a day and go enjoy it, because that setup is the hot ticket and gives you the wheel travel that thing lacks from the factory. And it's just a robust platform and just in search of, better suspension.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Now you probably have more questions, Kaylee.
I have way more
Yeah.
questions. My next question would be, but if you weren't looking for something necessarily right now and you could wait for the next generation of things to come out, then what would you wait for?
So I would absolutely wait for the Chevy ZR2. We know that thing's coming from the factory with 33s instead of 31s, which is a big deal. The interior mimics, at least from the spy photos, I'm not telling you anything I'm not supposed to. It at least mimics the Silverado redesign this year, which is a really, really gorgeous interior. And my understanding is it's probably going to come with that same big old 2.7 liter, I think it is, or 2.8 4-cylinder turbo that's in the Silverado. That engine is mighty powerful, and it'll be awesome in the midsize trucks. Plus, you're already working with a hydroform fully boxed frame, and they've learned a lot with this generation ZR2, which was sort of a, let's do it, but we're not going to go all in. They're all in on the next gen. So I think that in the Colorado and Canyon AT4 are going to be worth the wait. And then, of course, Ranger Raptor and new Ranger, although I haven't seen a whole lot of info on it, haven't driven it yet. I think that's going to be worth the wait. And, of course, the Tacoma is going to be based on a smaller version of the new Tundra platform that just came out. So I think that's going to be worth the wait, too. There's a lot of trucks that are within a year to 18 months. So if you're not in the market quite yet, the wait will be worth it, because that whole field is going to swap over here pretty quick.
All right.
And there went all Kaylee's research.
Yeah. And
And
Glad I could help.
just gone.
Gone.
One step away from buying a truck, and now 1 year
Liz,
away.
Liz isn't here to defend her Ranger, so
Mm-mm.
I know. I was literally out my door to go buy one, and now I'm reeling back in.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Some salesman's out there just pumping his fist to the sky.
Yeah. Screw
That's
you,
funny.
Sean.
That's pretty par for the course.
how many?
So speaking of what's coming up and all the things that are changing in that market, there's a big trend that I've seen lately since we are an off-road camping channel. I see everybody pulling off all the rooftop tents and all their drawers and their slides, and I see everybody ditching all their $2,500 worth of lights, and all of a sudden this thing that I've been preaching for the last 3 years about being a minimalist and taking a ground tent and going camping, I see everybody stripping their trucks down, selling stuff all over
That's because they're
Instagram.
poor, and because of inflation and the supply chain, they can sell that stuff for double what they bought it for. So that's the real reason. Listen, I'm all about being a minimalist. I've ditched my stove for a Scottle. and I'm pretty careful about what I pack, but I'm not giving up my GFC. That thing's rad. Nothing better than pulling up to a campsite at night and not being on the ground. No rocks, no ants, no snakes, no critters. Up high, carry your gun up there. You got the high position in the desert. You can see who's coming at camp late at night. It's all good. Don't give up your rooftop tent unless
they're
it
all
weighs
going.
200 pounds and is 12 inches thick.
Yeah.
Woo.
Damn.
Yeah, I do like the GFC. That is the way to go. You know, if you got 10 grand in 6 months, you can get one too.
No, the rooftop tent doesn't cost that much. That's just the camper. The campers, the new V2s, they did a lot of changes too. I love mine. They did a great job on that thing, and I have mine on a Jeep on a Rhino rack backbone, so it's a little creaky because you have to drill holes through your top. But man, is that thing great for the type of wheeling I do.
Yeah, the same one I
That
had.
is pretty light. The two of us got it off the top of the Jeep pretty easy.
Yeah, it's like 145 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Not too
Yeah,
bad.
it's just,
Made in
it's just
America.
crazy because when you see people go online and they post, right, they're like, oh, you know, I just got this truck and I just, you know, I need these things before I go out. And then what people realize when they pull that stuff off, it's the exact same trip.
Dude,
You're
it's
still
car
doing-
camping. We all did it as kids. It just wasn't called
Yeah.
overlanding, right? It's car camping.
Exactly.
So go car camping, and here's what I always tell people: build out your kit to your comfort level. If you want to have a nice comfy chair, then throw that in there. If you want to have a rooftop tent with some bedding, do that. If you want to be a minimalist, do that. I don't think there's any right way to do it. I think that the influencers are skewing like reality, and you follow all the influencers online. You're like, oh my God, this must be the next cool. No, screw all that. Go do to your comfort level and enjoy getting out there. Whatever gets you out there and gets you comfortable so you keep going
That's it.
and it works with your rig is the right thing to do.
Yeah, Mike,
What?
get out there.
I tried to pack a Marriott into the bed of my mega cab. It just didn't fit.
It didn't work.
No.
Yeah.
We have to kidnap Mike with a normally it would be like a rendition van, but we're gonna have to steal somebody's like Sprinter and then use the pillowcase, although it'll probably be like a down comforter or something. And
What about your trips over by
chilling.
Randsburg? I mean, it seems like you got a good group of guys that go. Can you get Mike
yeah.
out to one of those?
Oh, that'd be great.
we could totally kidnap him and take him out there.
Yeah,
you,
that's
won't
what-
have, listen, you won't have to kidnap me. Just wait till it cools down a little bit. At this
Yeah, it's
point.
hot. This is the wrong time of year to
Yeah.
go now. I think we just put the bookend on it, which is why I got to get the Jeep back over to you because we got to get that thing ready for fall and get all, you know.
Yeah.
I got some wheels and tires to drop off on Monday too.
Ooh, hammer on wheel weights. We don't use those that often anymore.
Yeah, do your guys even know how to do that?
I may have to go mountain balance them for you.
Should I here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna leave the TRX with you
Okay.
and those 5 tires and 5 wheels because you're already gonna be
So
doing
you're
that
going to
wheel.
pick it
on
up with a Steely on the left rear.
Can we talk about why I have to bring it back?
No.
All right, so I'm bringing you 6 wheels and tires, 1 aluminum and 5 Steelies,
Gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
I'll pick it up and then we'll have that all right.
No plugs.
No plugs. Although, dude, that plug has lasted like 8,000 miles. People, when they say don't plug a sidewall, it's dangerous. Absolutely believe them, but also know that you can get away with it.
Yeah. No, I know. Like that's the same thing. Like people say, "Oh, well, you can't plug a tire." It's like I've plugged so many tires and on my own cars, and
It's been months.
yeah, no problem. I put them on until I needed another set of tires. I carry a plug kit with me. You
Yep.
carry a plug kit with you.
Yep.
Billy, did you get a plug kit yet?
I've had a plug kit.
Oh, there you go.
Does it see?
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though. It's like I feel like all these things, like plugging a tire, it's a lost art. Driving
Yes.
stick, plugging a tire, all that kind of stuff.
Changing your oil.
Changing your oil.
Checking your oil.
What?
You gotta check the oil.
Oh yeah.
Changing
No, I
the
feel like
oil,
it-
though, it's just
nobody
got a
really
lot
does these
harder now that you can't just dump it in your backyard somewhere, you know?
Well, you can, but it's probably going to catch up on you at some point.
Listen,
some-
if you live in the high desert, if you're out there in like Victorville, you can totally just dump that shit right back in the ground because listen, nobody out there cares. So
Sorry, Kaylee.
Haley does not seem to be endorsing this line of conversation.
It's
Kaylee,
super
are you in the high desert?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm not.
No. Do you have to go past the 215 on the 15 to get to your house? If you say no, the answer is no.
I am on the 215 past.
Oh.
Do we have a sad trombone sound that we can play right there?
Underpass
Wah,
overland.
Wah.
She definitely under land
out there in the
overpass.
land of the
Dirt people.
of the land of the dirt people, the
That's
land
right.
of the Jawas.
Hey,
So,
if you own your own property and you want to throw oil out there, go for it. If you do
No.
not own your own property,
right.
then
Well,
maybe-
everybody I know out there that has that stuff, they just use smudge pots. And they just burn it.
Well, I think the smudge pot is totally underused. Like, okay, who watches like Gold Rush? And they're like, every year it's like 4 episodes of the season's ending, the storm's coming, our wash plant's freezing over. I'm like, smudge pot. You
Yeah.
guys have all these freaking old diesel tractors that
Yeah.
probably need an oil change. Smudge pot, because they used to use those in the citrus fields.
People take them out to hammers
Dude,
when it's
use
freezing
them.
cold.
I bring back the smudge pot. I'm all for it. You're
Hair
clean
oil.
enough now. You can get
Yeah.
you can weather a few smudge pots being
Yep.
used.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Bring back plugging tires and smudge pots. That's what I'm saying.
Is that your
That's it.
campaign?
Yes.
Are you going to run for office?
No, because I have skeletons in my closet. It's not
Who
good.
doesn't?
Yeah, well,
The politicians just have enough money to bury theirs.
Is that what it is? All right.
I think so.
All right. Well, Sean for whatever, but I need your dollars to help hide some shit.
Dollars
Oh.
and whiskey.
I've seen that. Just start selling blocks of wood or something. You'll get your money.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
We're going to leave that one alone. That's
Yeah.
a lot of blocks of wood to sell.
Leave
That-
that. Hey, look at this coaster here.
That's a block of wood.
Block of wood.
Yeah.
Did you buy it from anybody? It doesn't have a logo on it. Yeah, I thought you said leave that alone.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, listen. We're the Unfluencer podcast. So.
Ooh, influence.
Who coined that term? Which guest of ours had unfluencer?
Oh, I think it was Matt. Was it Matt? McGottam?
Mogadam? I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like influencer.
Influencer.
I also like I coined a term like years ago for the type of wheeling I do, because I have a rooftop tent, but I also like to go fast and get to camp and check things out and cover a lot of ground. So I like goverlanding.
go over landing.
Yeah, I'm a
Interesting.
goverlander.
So do you have a go fast camper?
No, I have a go fast rooftop tent.
There you go.
You don't even need one to goverland though.
So, so I'm gonna, I mean, listen, we know what you do here. Comedic styling, probably something you're working on. Stand up routine, maybe.
No, I mean, I started writing jokes for overlanding events because I thought it'd be funny. I thought people could laugh at themselves and stuff. So I did start writing some material, but I haven't even put that out on my podcast.
No. Well, this isn't probably the one to start it on. So
I mean,
unless you want to give us a taste.
No one listens to this one, so this is the first place.
Yeah, there you go.
all right. I'll how about this? I'll start with what and listen. There's no crowd
Totally.
here. It's gonna suck. The energy's not right. But this is what I was.
Kaylee, can you put a laugh track in at the end of
Yeah.
the joke?
Got it.
All right. So I was going to go out and be like, hey, everybody, welcome to overlanding, whatever. Right. And I was going to say, the reason I'm wearing my apron is not because I just finished cooking on my scuttle. It's because I wanted to make sure that all you poor people who couldn't afford fridges wouldn't throw your rotten vegetables and stain my shirt.
Wow.
But
Come on, right?
Wow.
right out of the gate.
right out of the
Solid, right?
gate.
All right, I'll tell you, this is the world's best joke. You could like the punchline's solid. Like, this is probably my top 5 punchlines if you're trying to do a punchline only competition around the campfire. But this is definitely one of maybe my number 1 favorite joke. Kaylee, what's the difference between a chickpea and a lentil?
I don't know. What's the difference, Sean?
I wouldn't pay $400 to have a chickpea on my face. Oh, damn it. I fucked it up. I wouldn't pay $400 to have a lentil on my face. Damn it. Fix it in
Damn.
post. I was so excited about the punchline that I totally fucked it up. I wouldn't pay $400 to have a lentil on my face.
There you go.
Solid, right?
That
We
is-
don't
that's pretty
edit the
strong.
podcast.
Yeah, no. There you go. Okay, if you ever need to win just the punchline competition, want to go camping is super high on that list. But I also like, where's the bitch with the bad tooth? That's a great punchline with a great joke. People always want to know what the storyline is behind that. So,
Where's the bitch with the bad tooth?
where's the bitch with the bad tooth?
Ransford.
Oh man.
I see. Listen, not
So
enough
are you
people
going to
tell
be
jokes anymore.
performing? Are you going to be performing at Overland Pacific Northwest?
No, not if I can't, tell punchlines the right way.
Wait, are you gonna be
Fucking
there?
joke all the time.
You're really gonna have to
No,
practice.
I was just out at Arizona, and it was actually West was awesome. But it's hard to justify now that Lindsay and crew have 4 of them. it's sort of like, oh, it's just here, all the same people.
Repetition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Arizona was definitely way lighter than it has been. Like the vendors were good, and a lot of vendors were excited about Pacific Northwest. But I think there's a lot of people used to drive down to Arizona who are waiting. So I think it'll be a good show. But I don't think people who normally go all the way down to Arizona, I think they're going to be at PNW.
I think you should fly up.
Yeah. I'm going to actually, I think I'm busy that week. I'm going to be driving the entirety of Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica, which I've always wanted to do. So
Yeah,
it'll be awesome.
What are you driving?
Probably an Oldsmobile.
Nope.
That trip.
I worked my way into a brand new 2023 Grand Wagoneer with the straight six Hurricane twin turbo.
Oh, that's
that nobody's
right.
driven yet.
Holy
That'll
crap.
be comfy. That'll be a comfy ride.
Yeah, that's going to be
Are you
the
gonna
so.
podcast along the way?
Say what?
Are you going to podcast along the way?
Yeah, I'll probably record some stuff. Yeah, we're going to do a bunch of content around it. I basically a friend of mine was working with Nitto. This is their Great American Road trip, whatever event this year, and it's not off road. And obviously starts in Chicago. Take a hell of a lot of gas to get out there. He invited me along. I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I fly into Detroit, I wonder if there's anything that needs to get moved out to the West Coast press fleet. And I thought it was going to be something that was ready to get retired out of the fleet because they don't like putting that many miles on cars that are new in the fleet. And I guess the Grand Wagoneer team was like, no, this is perfect. This is exactly what we built it for. We absolutely want to get you in. I was like, sweet. So
Tell me you're going to put a canoe on the roof for the trip.
no canoe. No
Oh.
canoe. Nope. I am going, but what I do want to do is stop in every state at whatever the gas station or roadside attraction and get a sticker and put it in the back of the Grand Wagoneer. So when they get it back, they're basically peeling off a Route 66 sticker from every state.
That's amazing.
It's gonna be awesome. Nothing
Yeah,
like
that's a
somebody
good
going,
come up.
hey, here's a $115,000 vehicle. Go put 3,000 miles on it.
Yeah. Those things are so nice.
Oh, they're so comfortable. I have spent a bunch of time in just a Wagoneer off-road package and a Grand. And if you think a Navigator or a Escalator nice, this is like the comfortable lazy boy. Like you don't like a Navigator for being independent suspension on body on frame has the worst like expansion joint slap that comes through the interior, and it sounds like a unibody car, and it's like really quiet except you get these really harsh like road noises and things coming in. The Grand Wagoneer is so isolated. Plus, it has like 10 screens or something like that, and you can watch TV and stuff.
75 inches of screens is what I was told.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're plush.
Yeah, and they just drive super awesome. And now I think because it's a 23, I'm hoping it has the driving assist on this one because
That's like the American road trip mobile right
for
there.
For sure.
It's like the Great Outdoors with John Candy.
Oh, such a good movie.
That is a good
Are we
movie.
dating ourselves?
No way.
Oh yeah,
Have you shown your kids the Great Outdoors, Billy?
they've seen it.
Yeah. See,
How about
Yeah.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
They haven't seen that.
They need to. Classic.
I don't. Yeah, is that one really a kid movie? I mean, they see things that aren't kid
but they
movies,
just need to. Sometimes they got to grow up, Billy. Sometimes it's time.
they got Smokey and the Bandit under their belt.
All right.
there you go.
Solid.
What about
about
the
12.
Goonies?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Original Ghostbusters.
yes,
Airplane.
no,
Not yet.
no, not yet.
Not yet.
Caddyshack.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes, Caddyshack. Yeah, because they like
Awesome.
the gopher.
Uncle Buck.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Ooh, I don't think they've seen Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck's solid.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good
Uncle
one.
Buck's a good one. I like
Yeah.
John Candy. You know what? This
Yeah.
is for Jay. This is for John.
For John,
Cheers for John.
Candy.
John Candy. He was rad.
He was rad. How about National Lampoon?
Oh yeah.
Oh, European
Vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Or Vacation and European Vacation. However,
Both
European
solid. But
Vacation.
Vacation is really
Christmas
yeah.
Vacation. All of them.
Yeah.
Are.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
We do Christmas Vacation every year.
Yeah, that's the second best Christmas movie ever.
about A Christmas Story.
Yeah,
No,
Christmas
mean,
Stories.
awesome.
mandatory.
Die Hard's the first.
So now there's an argument whether Die Hard is actually a Christmas movie.
No,
or
it's a
not.
Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
I think I
It
agree with you
starts
guys.
at a Christmas party.
I get it.
What are we
I-
talking about here?
I think I agree with you, but it's fun to argue.
Yeah.
Regardless.
No, it's a Christmas movie.
I think I like saying it is a Christmas movie because those people that think it's not a Christmas movie are so insanely passionate about it. I just like saying it's a Christmas
You know who
movie.
those people are? Those
You.
people are the same people who think a hot dog is a sandwich.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hate them. I
Wait,
hate those.
people hot dog is a sandwich?
Yeah, there's actually like a thing online about whether they're like, "Was a hamburger a sandwich?" And people are like, "Yeah, it's a sandwich." And they're like, "What about a hot dog?" No, a hot dog's not a sandwich; it's a hot dog. And then they like just lose it. And they're the same
Yeah.
people who will argue with you to the death about Die Hard's, status as a Christmas movie.
It's like people who hate eggs. Don't put eggs in
In
their
their
breakfast burritos. Yeah,
I hate
in the
eggs.
breakfast burrito.
Wait. There's people who won't have eggs in their breakfast burrito.
You're
Sit
sitting
next to
with
'em.
one.
Yeah,
It's not a breakfast burrito then.
That's what I said.
if it's a tortilla that's wrapping meat, cheese, potato, salsa, and all sorts of goodness, it's a burrito.
Yes, it's a burrito, and you
Yeah,
can't
not a
just
breakfast
say
burrito.
the time of day because then you would say that
It's
that
a
left.
breakfast burrito.
No,
No.
eggs make it a breakfast burrito. And if you are
So
you
how
telling
do how do I order off the breakfast menu at 2:00 then?
You
how
don't.
do you eat? So you're telling me that
'Cause
the
it's breakfast food.
pizza left over from last night because it came out of your fridge and is 5 hours old is breakfast pizza?
Fuck yeah.
No, it's not. It's just pizza, and you like
breakfast
cold
pizza.
ass
Don't you-
hard pizza in
Don't
the morning.
you judge me on the food that I eat.
I'm not judging. Listen. I'm not judging you on the food you eat. I'm judging it on
Food
the
that I don't
semantics
eat.
of the food you eat.
On what
Yes.
you don't eat.
What I don't eat, and I
Yeah.
don't eat eggs. So
Yeah.
So that you don't eat breakfast burritos.
Yeah.
I eat breakfast
Listen,
burritos.
I can go to Lunch
with no
Lupe's
eggs.
or something up the street, right? And you can get basically a potato burrito that has all the things that you just
I'm eating
fired
it
off
for
on.
breakfast. It's a breakfast burrito.
No,
I brought Mike a burrito one day to work.
Yeah.
I say a burrito. It was in the morning. And you should have saw the lady's face when I'm like, yeah, hold the egg. My friend's an idiot.
Oh,
She just-
well, at least you prefaced it with "my friends and idiots." You're good.
She was just like, you want a breakfast burrito with no egg?
I don't have to take this abuse.
I'm
from
calling
you guys.
shenanigans on what, like, listen, Mike, who hurt you? Did the big chicken come in your dreams and like scare you or something? Did your
No,
grandma shove eggs down your
No,
throat?
I had when I was a kid.
It's the mouthfeel, isn't it?
For one, it's texture. Two, it smells like you're eating a rotten fart.
Dude,
Well, you don't
who
eat
makes
bad
your
eggs. You eat
And you're
fresh
not-
eggs.
Who makes
Right.
your eggs?
I don't eat eggs. They smell like a fart when you cook them. I don't eat them.
You're the
Then
same
you
guys
are
that ruin Skittles for everybody by telling them the purple ones taste like Dimetap.
Wow.
They do, by the way. And by the way, for all you Heineken drinkers out there, it smells like skunk farts. So the Heineken's no good.
Yeah.
You can't drink beer that comes in a green or clear bottle because it just means it heats up faster. Makes it skunky.
Well, the light gets to it too.
That's
Listen,
right.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to stop me from drinking Modelo's. So,
Well, they are, in all fairness, Modelo is wrapped in foil.
that's
That's
true.
true.
So
Keeps the conspiracy theories out.
It's got its own tinfoil hat.
So just so you know, when you're at your club, guns and ammo or whatever it is,
hot rods and
Liz.
handguns, but sure.
yeah, Liz also
Love me some Liz.
doesn't have eggs and no.
All right, when I see
breakfast
Liz, I'm going to
burrito.
call her out on it because
Yeah.
I love me some Liz. She's awesome, but not a breakfast burrito. Sorry, it has to have eggs.
Yeah,
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
See, now you could argue it has breakfast sausage in it, and I might be swayed. But
Chorizo.
you
Yep.
or chorizo.
Yep.
You cannot argue about bacon because if bacon was a breakfast meat, I wouldn't have it on my cheeseburgers.
But what if you're having breakfast meat on your cheeseburger?
no, because it goes on pizza too,
Yeah.
Bacon.
No-
bacon.
Nobody's putting
bacon is-
chorizo on.
listen,
And it goes-
bacon's
and it
the
goes
fruit of
around
the
hot
pig.
dogs.
It's universal.
it goes around hot dogs. It's not breakfast dogs when you have a bacon wrapped hot dog.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
had
you
a
don't
bacon
call it-
wrapped hot dog for dinner last night. I made them myself. So we're all
And a
on this.
BLT is not a breakfast sandwich unless it has eggs on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
sound- why would you ruin a BLT that way?
Because
That
it would
sounds
be a
disgusting.
Because it's breakfast.
I have a hard time believing you've ate lettuce before, Mike.
I heard
I
I
have
heard from a
salads all
reliable
the time.
source. I will tell you, I've heard from a reliable source. Mike does not digest lettuce. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Salad shooter.
gross. I don't.
Wow.
I eat salads a couple times a week.
Listen, if somebody hands Mike a salad, he goes directly to the toilet and throws it in there, eliminating the middleman altogether. 'Cause it's the
Clean up on
same
aisle
thing,
3.
It's
except
roughage.
crispier.
Roughage.
Can't believe it. I eat salad 3 times a
This
week.
podcast is roughage.
2 times a week.
Is that when
Listen,
you're doing
don't-
your CrossFit and eating a kale salad?
Yeah, I would
Huh?
imagine that if Mike ate
Wait,
kale and
what?
did CrossFit,
No,
that
I'm
first
not.
stretch is going to be really hard for the room.
Oh yeah.
especially
like-
after a pot of coffee.
Someone fell in mud.
Yeah, let's make it hot yoga or hot CrossFit right after all those things happen. Could you imagine, Mike? The goat yoga, the first one that jumps on his back and has little poo balls on him.
Wait, what?
Goat yoga.
What?
It's a thing.
You haven't seen goat yoga?
No.
It's the best. You get goats and they climb on top of you and they stand on
Listen,
your
if
back.
you were to do goat yoga, you
Billy,
know,
no matter how much you've had to drink, you always end up with goats climbing on top of you. Or whales.
yeah, but
Listen,
that's just what
that's just because
they're
my
called.
standards go down the more I drink.
Hey, just listen, Mike. If you were doing goat yoga, you'd no longer have to have the excuse you're just helping him over the fence, officer. Now you can say I was just
Listen,
doing yoga with him.
You got to put their back legs in a rubber boot so they can't get away.
What?
Oh my.
He has thought about this, people. He has. This is not the first time.
Yeah,
that
he was
he's been
tired of
confronted on this
their
topic.
hooves cutting them. That's why.
Oof.
But
Yeah, he put some Crocs on them.
I do not want to see your dad.
Okay, so there's a question. Sean, Crocs or no Crocs?
No Crocs
Attaboy.
ever. I don't care how comfortable they are. I would rather have my leg amputated than be seen walking around in Crocs. It is
Yes.
better to not to be able to walk
Yes.
any longer and be wheelchair bound and have the world's raddest carbon fiber wheelchair because I can no longer step on my feet because either my feet fell off or plantar fasciitis. I will refuse. If somebody said the key to longer life is Croc wearing, I would not do it.
So if you have to walk across a 120-degree asphalt with broken glass, you're going to barefoot it rather than wear Crocs.
Hey, listen, I'm going to build up a callus the way God intended.
There you go.
And I'm going to be able to get across it. You know what? After that callus is built up, I'm going to be able to walk over anything.
There you go, including a pair of
Unbelievable.
You know,
Yeah.
it's what I just keep envisioning in my head is you in a wheelchair with prosthetics on, and then me putting Crocs on your feet because you can't do shit about it.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh.
I usually carry about my right hip and my arms still work. I'm like,
right.
would you like that? Would you like that in a Hellcat or a 1911 variety? Because I'm gonna send that right over. Well, and listen, just because the Crocs have holes in it doesn't mean they can't get more holes in them.
ventilation holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
Holman's
get
good.
it. I don't get the Croc thing.
He's good at those rants. I've seen it. He doesn't even know I've seen it.
What
I almost went in the other day, but
What is
Mike?
it with doctors wearing Crocs? Like, I would think when you're surrounded by body fluids and this and that, like you'd want closed.
Maybe they just. I think they just hose it out.
Yeah, like nurses and doctors like wear Crocs. That's disgusting.
Yep.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Ugh.
Mike, you know how like Facebook, it shows you what your friends have commented on, and then all of
Oh,
a sudden
yeah.
it's just there.
Yeah.
So Holman over there goes in on this 2-page rant about what a shithole Dodger Stadium is.
Oh, that's actually true. That actually
Mike.
that
Oh,
actually
that's
happened.
right. Oh, we got an
Yeah.
Angels fan among us. I
That's-
forgot
that's
about
right.
that.
That's why
Yeah,
they've
well, not
lost
right now
10
because
games
they
in a
decided
row.
they were 11 games above 500 a month ago, and they're 1 game above 500 now because they lost 8 in a row, and they've decided
They
they
lost
hate
10 in a
themselves
row.
and don't know how to play
The,
baseball.
the
so.
Angels became the Angels again.
Yeah,
What can you say?
it's like that one clip from the football team where it's like, we know who they are, who they told us they were. You know,
I'm gonna
it's
have
like,
to find your rant on Dodger Stadium.
Oh.
At least the city council and
listen.
they haven't bribed.
I thought it
the
was
mayor.
solid. I mean,
knew
Billy,
he was.
you read
I
it.
knew he was coming on here, so I left it alone. But I was like, "Oh, I will educate this man."
Did you find it? Read it.
Now,
Well, I don't-
Now,
I'm not
now's
gonna
your
look it
time
up
to
now,
fire
but-
back. Now's your time to fire back.
Yeah, content, Billy. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Angel,
So say
Angel
it.
Stadium,
You know, you're
the only nice
typical
thing-
Dodger fan. You don't even live in LA anymore. Oh, look at me,
Oh.
a Dodger
Oh,
fan.
yeah, it's
I
called
live in
loyalty.
Arizona. Look at Yankee.
called
I've never
loyalty.
even been
Try
to New
it.
York. I'm a Yankees fan.
The only thing nice about Angel Stadium is the parking lot.
Dude, parking
That's
in
it.
and out in 5 minutes. $10 to park. You can actually drive there, park, get to the stadium.
yeah, you
without
know
being
why it's
accosted or
$10 to
robbed.
park? Because you get 18,000 people a game. Go to a stadium that gets
Oh,
60,000.
I'm sorry.
and they're
This
gonna
is not
charge you.
Oakland. This is not Oakland.
This is
Yeah,
6
They only
times.
60,000 people go to Dodger Stadium. It holds 54, and the rest
Yeah.
of them are all
It's called having
like,
fans.
it's
Yeah.
it's the
What
gang
happens
member
when you win?
initiation. They're like, if you can survive a Dodger Stadium game against
Right.
against the
But-
Giants, then we'll let you in our gang. It's
So just
basically their way
remember
of
when you
dumping
say
in.
that,
Listen,
the only
why
person that
isn't
had a
any
fan
Dodger
get
fan
killed
ever
in the
concerned with the fact
stadium was Angel
that,
Stadium.
You know, this is white
Angel
privilege right
Stadium's the
here.
only one
because
that had
Dodger
someone get
Stadium
killed
rolls
in the
the
stadium.
entire
And
Hispanic community. Why do you think it's called Chavez Ravine? Because they misplaced or displaced an entire generation of Hispanic people.
Right.
So that
And
they
what
could play
was
baseball
the
there.
Anaheim redevelopment project? What was
It
that?
was
that
a
was
orange
Anaheim
grove. We
blowing
didn't hurt
out
anybody.
No, I
was an
worked
orange
for a
grove.
fence
Aren't you guys
company,
trying
and
to
we put the
get a new
fences.
stadium and put low-income housing in your parking lot?
No,
Yeah.
it's all lies.
Wasn't the mayor bribing
It's
people?
all lies. Well, listen, I don't speak for the mayor of Anaheim. I am the guy.
Sure, we'll give you
Disney
some of our
owned the
parking lots for
Angels,
low-income
and
housing.
You know what?
Disney
Listen,
owned Disney,
I
and they
can-
knocked
listen,
down
I
all the
can go to
houses in
Dodger
Santa
Stadium.
Anaheim.
I don't listen. I don't have enough time in my day to go watch a 3-hour
Bullshit.
game, but spend 10 hours going to Dodger
Bullshit.
Stadium and trying to get home. Fortunately, I have my CCW, which is valid statewide, and I can shoot my way out if I need
Right, but
to.
you understand
I
that
come back over here to the Orange Curtain, where we are suburban and family oriented.
Anaheim doesn't have gang members.
Listen, they're
Yeah,
not real
right.
gang members. They're just
Come
like
on.
kids. Yeah, they have just because you have a spray paint can, you can write chulo on a wall doesn't make you a gang member.
Listen,
Oh, man.
Angel Stadium had a fan murdered in their stadium, knocked down the stairs and died in Angel Stadium. That's never
okay.
happened.
Well, let's talk about the Dodger to Angel Stadium death ratio of like 8-1. Okay,
Nobody's
who
gotten
we
killed
had
at
won?
Dodger Stadium.
Listen, Angel Stadium
Nobody's
is
gotten
a
killed there.
treasure.
It's
Angel
not a
Stadium
treasure.
is
It's a
treasure.
shithole.
No, it's not.
If
Dodger
that-
Stadium and Angel
that
Stadium are
stadium-
number 3 and 4 oldest stadiums in the majors. If you can believe that.
Because it's so awesome that Dodger Stadium is just lasted the test of
Right.
time.
By the way, you're talking about a team who literally stole our logo. You guys have had a stolen logo since you moved from New York. If you know the history of baseball, you'll know that LA was originally on the PCL Angels. It was the original Los Angeles Angels. Angels is Los Angeles' original.
Oh, you mean
team.
when they shared the
Dodgers didn't
Coliseum?
even start here. The Dodgers came from New York because they couldn't hack it on the East Coast. And the owner, Peter O'Malley, had to give up his franchise for the PCL Angels because he wanted to have a major league team here. It's like,
you mean the minor league Angels, which they are now?
Not PCL was not minor league. That is a fallacy that people like you propagate because you don't understand the history of
They should
baseball.
have just stayed.
I'm going to need more bourbon.
They should have stayed in Wrigley Field. They should have stayed in Wrigley Field. At least they won there. Pathetic. Pathetic
God.
team.
That was amazing.
60 years, one championship, and their fans act like they're diehard because they won 4 games. Give me a break.
Listen to the hate. You know, this is
what? Okay.
absolutely in line with every Dodger fan ever.
And you're in line with every Angel fan. You guys show up when they win, and you stop going when they lose.
Nope, I don't.
That's
in
why
fact,
they
I
had
don't
to
even leave
reinvent
games early.
That's why they
Unlike you Dodger
reinvent that
fans who leave in
stadium
the
like
5th inning
9
because you have to
times.
drive home and navigate your way out of the freaking parking lot, which has 2 exits. People like me, we stay for the whole game. We're fans no matter what. I don't even turn the game off early when they're losing because you know what?
Well, then you
I
turn it
live and
off all
die
the
by my
time.
team. I win and lose by my team. You guys are like, what? 4th inning, I'm out. Oh, wait, I just got here. You're going to pay $700 to park, have one freaking shitty Farmer John hot dog, which is longer than your own schlong, and then wonder what it's like to live a good life, and then you have to get in your car and drive home. You don't even enjoy the game. You aren't even in the stadium long enough to smell the fresh cut grass or the foamy beer. No, you guys have your damn Dodger dog and you leave because you're not real fans. You go to Philippe's because you're like, I'm so hungry because I left the game early and didn't get a chance to even enjoy it that now I have to go to Philippe's to have a freaking beef dip because Dodger Stadium was $800 to enjoy a game I didn't even enjoy.
When I went to Angel games,
the more expensive the game gets.
I went to Angel games. I went right across the street to the pump room after. What are we talking about?
the chump room for people like you.
Oh, please. They all loved me.
Gentlemen, let's bring this discussion back from baseball to
Mike. You're sitting with a traitor.
Yeah, at least I like eggs in my breakfast burrito.
That's true. That's true. Oh boy.
Sorry, I just wanted
what happened?
Last time the Angels were in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. Trout went one for
throwing that in there.
Okay, I live in the 951 and I have no teams. You're going to like the Lake Elsinore 66ers because you don't even live where there's a baseball team.
Wow,
Okay,
now he's just
If
attacking
you can
you.
only be a baseball fan in the circumference of a stadium, then nobody
No,
in the
that's not
country
true
would be
because Billy proved he can move out of state and still put on a Dodger hat and be like, "Oh, I'm a
not
fan."
need
Yeah, who
to
doesn't?
be in the same zip code as a stadium in order to be a fan.
Not the same zip code, just
Oh.
geographically closer than the last geographically undesirable date you had. Long distance baseball fans, boo.
Yeah, God forbid people move and stay loyal. God.
Well, if you stayed loyal, you wouldn't have moved, huh?
So let me get.
Jesus.
What is that? Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my
You
God.
pay your $8 a gallon while I'm paying $5. All right.
Yeah, enjoy your property tax because you guys don't have Prop 13. Boom! Yeah, that's right. All you Californians move away to where all the other Californians are, and the property taxes and housing prices are getting jacked up. That's right. Our cancer is spreading.
That part's true. That's so
Yeah,
true.
it is. Take your anti-gun laws with you.
And when I moved here, my neighbors were like, "You guys seem really nice, but I'd get those California plates off pretty quickly."
Yeah, I can't wait for. Never mind. See how you really are.
Oh,
I want to know,
jeez.
what can't you wait for?
Yeah. What can't you wait for, Holman?
Washington to turn on you when they find out who you really are.
Dodger fan.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
all
they
the
right.
like
heart
to
of
hear-
Louisville,
You
LA.
went straight to the Seattle Mariner Stadium with your Dodger gear on.
Yeah,
so-
I didn't wear my Bronson wore his Dodger gear. I didn't. I went neutral. But yeah, I
Actually, a
took
nice
the kids.
stadium.
It's a
So,
beautiful
listen,
stadium.
Seattle's a nice
No one's
walkable
no
town.
one's gonna sucker punch an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Probably.
I
right.
used
Maybe
to do that at Oakland.
You
with
sucker
my-
punch little kids.
Yeah.
Actually, she used to headbutt them.
Drop kick them out of the stadium. For
She'd
sure.
lure them in with her feminism and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hi," and they're like, "Oh, look, you go." Done.
Yeah.
Smack right there.
So you used to go to
1000%.
Oakland and what?
Well, when I was really young, my
Do the
stepdad,
smack?
he's a Raiders fan, and I'm a Packers fan.
God.
And so I would go to preseason games and wear all my Packers stuff. And he's
Ooh.
like, no one's going to hurt a little girl. It's fine. But yeah, no one ever said shit to me. I actually got shit talked to more at any 49ers game I ever went to than any Raiders game I ever been to.
So I go every year. I haven't done it in a while since COVID, unfortunately, but I go to whatever stadium and away game the Angels go to, and I wear all my gear. I'm not afraid, whatever city, because I want to get to all the ballparks before I'm done. And I remember one of the raddest ones ever was after Torrey Hunter left the Angels. He got his 5-year contract was up. He got signed by Detroit. So I was in Detroit for business. And so some of my friends at Jeep were like, "Hey, let's go catch a Angels Detroit game." It's like, sweet. So I actually tweeted Torrey Hunter the night before. I'm like, "Hey, hope you don't mind. Angels fan out in right field cheering you on." So they announced the game and everything. I'm in the sea of black and orange. I'm wearing my red away jersey. I'm as red as you can be in the middle there. People are throwing peanuts at me. They're like, "Hey, boo, shut up, sit down." All that kind of. I'm in the second row. Torrey Hunter gets announced. He starts running out to right field. And I look at Torrey Hunter. I'm like, Torrey, we miss you, Angel fan. Da, 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 da. And everybody's like, boo, sit down. Torrey Hunter, class act, looks at me, does the chest pump, points at me, and gives me recognition. And then all of a sudden, all the Detroit fans are like, "Dude, class act, totally rad. That dude's awesome." And nobody bugged me the rest of the game. It was awesome.
That's cool. I like
Torrey
it.
Hunter saved your life.
So
Right.
you used to go to Raiders games, Kaylee?
Oh, all the time. This is going to be a hot take, but I actually really like the Oakland Coliseum.
So the
Ooh.
question
The
is,
only thing they have there that's good is Dr. Pepper, and they have really good brisket sandwiches or tri-tip sandwiches.
if the Raiders have moved to Nevada,
Yeah.
how do their fans go watch games? I didn't think when you're on parole you're allowed to cross state lines.
Hey, listen, I used to watch the Raiders at the Coliseum in the
So did I.
80s, all right?
Yeah. Well, I grew up. My family had Raider and Ram season tickets.
Yep.
I grew up on the same street as Leroy Irvin, so we used to go to a lot of games.
I hate NFL. Like I'm into college ball now because both of my teams left me as a kid, and I'm like, listen, when you are literally the epitome, the very existence of the American dream, you came from nothing, used your skill to become a prominent athlete, rich, made in life, successful, living the dream, and you're going to complain to me and everybody else about how oppressed you are when you aren't even giving your own dollars back to the community you came from. I got no time for you.
Don't talk to me. Yeah, exactly. I'm
Sorry.
right there with you.
So I don't want to hear how oppressed you are as a millionaire and how America treats you bad, because that's just not the case. And I can't stand that woke stuff with the NFL. I think that unfortunately everybody's buying into that right now. And I've got friends and family of every race, creed, whatever, and we're people. We don't look at each other like, oh, well, that person's this or that person's that. I'm so tired of hearing that America's racist and we're all racist. I watch college ball. Not only do the teams flip over every few years, you have to be really good to have a dynasty, but there's nothing better than a college football game where the band is there and the tailgating and all that is so rad. To me, college is where it's at. NFL's dead to me.
What is your take then, since you're a college fan, on college players getting paid?
They should. I think they should get paid for their likeness. I think that's fine. I don't think they should get paid to play ball, because I think that's what their scholarships are. But I think if somebody's going to use you to endorse their product and name and likeness, I have no problem with that. Okay. I think if you have that skill set and people want it, you should be able to monetize that. But I don't think you should be able to get paid to play in college, because that's your scholarship. You're earning an education. And I think that a lot of players make a huge mistake by entering the draft early and not finishing their degree and not having something to fall back on. When you look at baseball, one of the things I love about baseball is your contract is guaranteed, whether you're injured or not. The fact that baseball is the only major sport that doesn't run off a clock, it runs at natural pace. I love baseball. When you go to football, like you look at a mediocre baseball career, even including the minors, might be five years. A good career might be 10. A great career might be 15, even 20 years. Football, a great career might be 5 years. And these kids only see the dollar sign and the glory of right now, and they don't think about getting their degrees. And there's so many NFL players who got their degrees, who got blown out of the NFL or got injured or whatever, who have become entrepreneurs, who have become business people. And I think that should be a lesson to this. A lot of these kids, it's not about the greed. It's about your future and securing your future. And I think a lot of people are so about the money right now and social media and who they are and all those things right now that they forget to secure their future and what they should be really worried about. And that's like, what's going to happen in 5 years when I'm not playing ball anymore?
Yeah, it's crazy now too, because with social media, everybody's starting to brand themselves so early, and that seems to be more important than the game itself,
which sucks.
Yeah.
Get out there and play.
At the same token with that is that you have to, even if you are super skilled, you have to brand yourself, because there are so many people out there branding themselves over their skill, but they still get noticed more based on their brand versus their skill. So if you are the total package, you have to brand yourself, because you're competing with the people that are not the total package, but out there more. And
I branded myself years ago. Still nothing.
Actually, I wanted to ask you.
You don't have a blue check.
I don't have a blue check. We tried. So we tried to use the power of MotorTrend, and Facebook and Instagram told me no.
It's probably
like, we don't recognize
your
popularity.
Yeah, well, you know.
I think they look at what podcast you go on and they judge off that.
Well, fuck, you're never getting one now.
we aren't.
I was talking about my own, but
yeah, that too.
I wanted to ask though, because you kind of started this podcast with talking about, you know, your own career and how you forged your path. And I think for some people, so kind of backstory, I did sports reporting for a long time. But I loved sports so much that I never wanted to like pigeonhole myself into one particular thing. I wanted to show like I knew a lot about stuff. But I think that now looking, you know, hindsight's 2020, I probably should have marketed myself as like one particular thing, or had like a niche market, right? As opposed to like just being broad and open. And I feel like you kind of did that with just like, you saw an open market, you saw a place to fit yourself, and you went in that way. Was that because that's exactly what you were passionate about and you didn't care what came from it? You just wanted to focus on that one thing? Or did you see the opportunity and stick with it?
I think part of it was seeing the opportunity, but the opportunity just happened to be in line with my passions. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, being an automotive journalist for almost 20 years, you don't do it for the money. You do it for the love of what you do. It's not a profession you're going to be rich. It's not a profession that you're going to be, you know, setting the world on fire or any of that kind of stuff. It's something that has to be a love. And look,
you do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna say that I haven't had a great experience. I've raced in the Baja 1000. I've been on a winning team. I've traveled to 4 or 5 of the 7 continents for work. I've seen vehicles 5 years early. I was a part of the team that industry team for Bronco. So I was on that for 5 years. I helped with Wrangler, JL, JK, Grand Cherokee 4xe, all sorts of Jeep products. I've done a bunch of Ford stuff, a bunch of Ram stuff. There's literally stuff I can point on cars and go, yeah, that's there because of me, right?
Yeah, and you're doing cool stuff versus helping someone in a boardroom design what next Hyundai economy cracker.
Yeah,
box
I'm lucky
starter is.
because I'm the type of person that cannot do the same thing every day. If you told me I would make $1 million a year filing papers, I'd kill myself. Like, I cannot sit there and do monotonous tasks. The fact that I'm out in the world doing a little bit of everything and getting exposed to everything, like, I get to go out with engineers who want my take on if the suspension's right for this future car going out and go drive it off road and tell them, hey, the throttle's not right, the suspension's not right. And then the very next day, I might be, on a plane to go to a desert race. And the very next day, I might be at Mike's shop, shooting an install on something. And the very next day, I might be, doing a podcast. Like, that's what I've been blessed with, is being able to do a ton of different things and always have a different experience. Whereas I've never, I've had plenty of job offers, and I'm like, no, because if I do that, I won't be able to have the flexibility to have all these great experiences. And so I think that my advice to anybody who wants to do anything in life is to just don't worry about the money. It'll come. Go do what you love, because work will kill you and you're replaceable, and they won't care if you drop dead. They might for a day, but they're going to replace you. And at the end of the day, what really matters is that you enjoy waking up every morning and doing whatever it is you love to do. So, if you wake up and you hate your job, change it. And I don't think enough people change things. Like, they're too afraid to make that move. Go change whatever it is that you're unhappy with, because you're gonna have a lot more fun. And when you're authentic, it's so funny. You look at like influencers. Oh, we're authentic. We're so blah blah. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, they're anything but authentic.
Exactly. But if you're actually authentic and you actually do stuff, people are going to gravitate toward you anyway, because they're like, no, that guy's the real deal. And to have people in whatever space you live in, and you get to be one of the real deal people, that's because of your passion. That's not because you were savvy on social media or whatever. That stuff's going to crash and burn. That's a blip on the radar for now. It's not always going to be the go-to. There'll be something else that comes along, and all those people who haven't learned how to have a career are going to be like, oh, what do I do now?
I think a lot of people are figuring it out, because you have, companies will give product or give something to somebody who has a bunch of followers, but what's the actual return on investment?
Well, you have to look at engagement. You can't look at followers, because half these people went out and paid $500 to the Bali bot farm, and it's all fake followers, right? And it's like, I've never done that. Guess what? I don't have 100,000 followers. I don't have 50,000 followers, because I didn't pay a bunch of fake money. Everybody on my page followed me organically, and I talked to those people. Look at my engagement, and I don't just post random stuff. I post interesting things of what I'm doing. And if you don't like me as a person, you're not going to like my page, and I'm fine with that, because I want to talk with like-minded people and stuff. And I think there's the relationships, especially this industry. It's all about relationships. It's all about who you know, who you're friends with. And I much rather work with the people I love working with and the products I believe in than anybody's going to offer me money to hawk something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Influencer.
Yeah, give me to 100 zeros.
Yeah.
100.00. It's $100.
Hold on.
Let's get Sean $100.
Yeah, I'll take that. My Venmo also my same name.
There we go.
Is it your Cash App or your what's the other one? OnlyFans?
Yeah, no. I've got a story about that, but not appropriate for this podcast.
You got an OnlyFans?
We've talked about OnlyFans on this podcast one too many times.
Just Venmo me. It's easier that way.
It's a good second source of income.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, those fancy GPW parts and bourbon and cigars don't pay for themselves.
That's right.
So I might be off on who it was, but I thought it was you. Didn't you just get recognized or got to be a part of like the Mojave Preserve Board or something like that?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm on the board of directors for the MDHCA. So if you go to mdhca.org, that's the Mojave Desert Heritage and Cultural Association. So anybody who has been in California or Desert Southwest has probably heard of the Mojave Road. That's basically the foremost overlanding trail here in Southern California. Goes from the Colorado River, 130 miles all the way to Barstow. The gentleman who founded that's name is Dennis Casebeer. Now, Dennis Casebeer founded that trail, worked with the BLM, and founded Friends of the Mojave Road, which became the MDHCA eventually. So the reason that happened was, if you guys have ever traveled the Mojave Road, I'm sure most people who listen to this podcast probably have. There's mailboxes there's one mailbox that you sign in. The reason the mailboxes are there is so that we can see how much traffic is on the road and helps us monitor how busy it is. So when Dennis first started it and first put out the mailbox, the BLM came back to him and said, hey, we have a lot of traffic on the Mojave Road. Would you be interested in doing some other roads within this area? So Dennis spent the next 4 years of his life putting out the East Mojave Heritage Trail, which was like 600 and, 40 miles or something like that. And he had it out for a couple of years. There's 4 segments. There's 4 books available. You can buy the set from mdhca.org in the bookstore. In 1994, Bill Clinton signed the Desert Protection Act, which put wilderness area all over the trail that Dennis had put. And Dennis felt betrayed by the government because they asked him to do this. He spent his life researching it, putting his books out, and they basically made the last 4 or 5 years of his life null and void because now you couldn't travel the trail because it traversed wilderness areas. Well, fast forward to 2019 when Billy Creech reached out to Dennis and asked for, I think it's the 20th anniversary, 30th, 20th, asked if he could do a retrace with Dennis's blessing and bring the East Mojave Heritage Trail back. And he did. He's now the president of the board. Dennis passed away a couple years ago and gave Billy his blessing. Billy went out. And so now the trail is 733 miles. And it's unbelievably amazing. I've done the whole thing. And there's actually 4 mailboxes on that. And there's also a 6th mailbox out there. If you combine the 4 on EMHT and Mojave Road that a lot of people don't know about. But there's basically 3 legs to the stool. It's the Goff's Museum site out of Goff's, California, which is about 35 miles west of Needles, near California's most expensive gas station. It's the desert exploration, and it's the history. We have the largest archives of the Mojave Desert anywhere in the world. And so I'm helping to oversee that and bring back overlanding. In fact, we're going to be launching a new website soon. And I just started an Instagram page. It's at the Mojave Road, and the new website will be the mojaveroad.org. And this is because MDHCA means nothing to anybody, but you can always remember the Mojave Road. So it'll be the mojaveroad.org, home of the MDHCA, the Mojave Road, East Mojave Heritage Trail. We're working on, there's a couple other trails that Dennis never got to before he passed away that he wanted to have. And we're working with the BLM and the government agencies to reopen those trails. And we'll announce those at a later date once we get a chance to do the retrace on those. So we will basically be the base camp and home for all the great overlanding trails in California, at least in the desert, and unbelievable to do it. We're also going to be doing something where if you're a member, you'll be able to sign up and pay a fee, and we'll have passport stamps. You'll get this booklet. The stamps will be in the mailboxes. They'll be at a few different places. You get it all stamped up. It'll put you in our club. I think we have a couple names we're working on where you'll get a patch and recognition on the website as somebody who's done all of our trails, and we're working on that stuff right now too. So
Let me ask you a question though. So obviously the goal is to bring awareness.
Yeah.
But do you worry that with visibility comes the problems that we've seen with other outdoor spaces getting overrun, people not staying on trail, people leaving trash?
Not really. The overland community is actually pretty good. It's the UTV community, which is not allowed in the Mojave National Preserve, which causes the greatest issues.
Gotcha.
The Mojave Road's already overrun with RAV4s and Subarus and things like that anyway. I think if you treat the Mojave Road as your sort of beginner intro to backcountry exploration in the Mojave, the Eastern Mojave Heritage Trail is really a master class in doing it. You can't take any of those vehicles on it. 733 miles through the Mojave Desert in every terrain imaginable: lava, sand, rocks, dirt, mud, hardpack, water crossings,
with RAV4s?
Everything. You'll never do it with a RAV4 or
Oh.
Subaru. So basically, just the terrain itself is going to keep out that crowd.
Gotcha.
And people who are traveling above their pay grade or above their skill set aren't going to be able to access those places because the road just isn't going to allow it. But for people with capable vehicles, it's an adventure unlike anything that you've ever done. The elevation change is something like 5,000, 5,500 feet over the course of it. It starts in Needles, ends in Needles. It's just an amazing trail. If you want to know more, just search East Mojave Heritage Trail or head to mdhca.org. You got some information on that, or DM me, hit me up at Sean P. Holman, and happy to help anybody out who wants to do those trails because it's special. But yeah, I think awareness is what we need. And we just signed a memorandum of understanding with the BLM Needles Field Office, We're working on National Park Service and Needles Field Office and Nevada Field Office right now, where we are the official caretakers and stewards of the Mojave Road and EMHT on any of their trails. So we're going to be the ones doing maintenance, helping people out, navigation, all that. We've also just partnered with Onyx. So the trails are actually on the Onyx app as premium trails. So yeah, just it's an amazing thing for me. I first learned in the 90s when I was in high school, got my first 4x4, I think in like 98 or something like that, where I could actually take my love of history, my love of off-roading, and combine them. And if it weren't for Dennis Casebeer and the Mojave Road Guide, I never would have understood that. And really, to me, it's my payback because of everything I've gotten to do in my career. Started with the Mojave Road Guide and doing my first Mojave Road back in 1999 in my four-wheel drive Ranger. And I want that to be there for my kids, my friends, and the next generation of people to understand, as we get further and further out from each successive generation, you lose that connective tissue to the people who actually did it and the people who are actually there. And hopefully I can be a bridge to, bridge that gap between the people who were there in the beginning and the next generation coming up, so that we can educate them on desert history, who can do, how to do it right. And the beauty is there's so much interesting history people have no idea of, whether it's the geology, whether it's the first black homesteaders, whether it was the whole story of the Mojave Indians, and how they were friendly to the white people at first and then became hostile and attacked them because of people taking advantage of them. Just the fascination with this part of the country is amazing. Plus you have the Spanish missionaries who are setting up the mission system from Mexico. Plus you have, this is like a great Western story. You have old Westerns, you have Indians, you have government, you have the Pony Express. I mean, it's just an amazing place and time to visit. And it's still one of the most remote places you can get in California and be away from everybody and kind of sit there and go, wow, people before me were so much more hardy than we are today.
Yeah, we're soft.
We're pussies.
I don't know the whole timeline. I don't know how it started, but in the early 80s, my mom got in contact with Dennis and they used to correspond through mail, and he would send us the maps.
Yeah.
And then we would go do it. I posted some pictures not long ago, but we used to take our 79 Bronco and did the Mojave Trail and then all the other stuff that he would send us along with it. And I know that they put our family in like the Desert Rat and that book, but I don't know if she still has any of his writings or the letters, but he would send us like handwritten coordinates, where to find things, where we learned, me and my brother, God, I was 8, he was 4, but we would like stack the cairns and we would have to follow, we'd have to do the Mojave by, that's how we did it back then. Yep. And then, of course, the sign-ins and the signs on the trees, or they used to hang
the penny can, and
but not just that, but they used to tie up like construction tape.
Oh yeah.
And so that's how you knew you were. You were still on the
that,
right
and the rock
trail.
cairns are always supposed to be on your right-hand side when you're navigating through. And this was before, obviously, GPS and things like that. And I think my first Mojave Road Guide doesn't even have GPS in it. It wasn't even a thing. It was all mile markers, and you'd have to, because all
your odometer at this checkpoint.
Yeah, and it's funny. You look at all these old books, you see these pictures, and it's like K5 Blazers and CJ5s and flat fenders and occasional Land Rover and like an S10 Jimmy and like all these are like really cool old Isuzu Trooper 2s and like these obscure like cool 80s 4x4s, Nissan pickup trucks like D720s and things like that, and or D21s, and there's just so much cool. What they used to travel. And you think that the road hasn't changed, right? Just vehicle technology has. And you just think about what it was like back then to route what was called the old government road, or the Mojave Trail. And the old government road was because the Indians got so hostile that they put forts along the way, and the army had to come and basically keep travelers safe, keep the Indians at bay, so that they can make it. Because originally, even before the white man came, it was a trading route to the coast where they would trade. So the Mojaves were agricultural people who lived on the banks of the Colorado River, and they weren't really nomadic or anything like that. So they would, trade with the coasts and things like that. And that was a trail that eventually became a wagon road. But it just the history is amazing. When you get the road guide or the East Mojave Heritage Trail guides, and you don't just do it off GPS, you do it by mileage so that you can enjoy those stopping off points, really sit and soak it in. There's petroglyphs, and there's old cabins and old foundations and airfields, and it's such a mix of everything you could ever think about history-wise that could be in the desert. It's out there, and you're covering such a huge swath of land. The Colosseum Mine, and if you've ever heard the story of Cocoa Reef, and the underwater, or the underground rivers of gold, and you're going right through that area. I mean, there's just so much to soak in. It's really an amazing time.
Yeah, it's an amazing area. Yeah, I think my favorite part of the whole thing was the Mitchell Caverns for sure.
Yeah, Mitchell Caverns is awesome.
I heard it got pretty decimated at one point, and then they just reopened them pretty recently, right?
Yeah, I think they closed them because of COVID and things like that, but now they're open and they're doing guided tours. But I think it's a minimum or a maximum of like 12 people at a time, and there's only a couple of appointments a day. So you definitely want to book ahead if you want to do it. But the caverns are there, and they're amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's good for everybody to know. I mean, especially in SoCal, because it is crowded. I ran it 2020, I think was the last time I ran it. I mean, there was just hundreds and hundreds of people, and then the part that I really didn't care for was people were trying to do it fast, doing 50, 60 down
you
that.
can do it like if you did it and took your time. 3 days is awesome. 3 days and 2 nights, or even 4 days and 3 nights is like epic, where you actually enjoy camping. But yeah, there's a lot of people, TRXs and Raptors and things like that who are doing 60, 70, 80. And that's not the road to do
all
that.
of it in 3 hours.
Well, of course you can. I've done it before back a long time when the Raptor first came out. I wanted to show you could do it in a day, and that was the thing to do. And I'm probably one of the people that started that whole thing, but I definitely don't appreciate it now. And you got to be careful of, desert tortoises. There's protected endangered species out there. And also you're within a national preserve. So you have to think about that. And, like I said, there's a way to do it responsibly. I think we've all been at that age where you want to go do everything 100 miles an hour. But I think as we get older, you kind of go, wow, I missed a lot of this really cool stuff. I'm going to stop and soak it in a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. So,
you ever done Mojave, Mike?
Nope.
I got to take him.
No, I'm going with Holman.
Yeah,
so,
I'm taking him. I may just put him in the passenger seat of the GPW, because what I really want to do is I want to get Vern Simons, Christian Hazel, maybe Rick Payway, and
do a flat
Trent
fender
McGee
run.
And do an old school flat fender run on Mojave Road, the way it was meant to be and the way people did it back in the day. I think that would be such an amazing, awesome, epic trip, and would make for such a great story.
You got to do it. Just get Mike a sports bra, because you don't want to get hit in the face with his titty.
I think your titties are bigger than mine, bitch.
Are you guys smashing cockroaches at the restaurant? Did you guys see that?
Oh, that video is so gross.
So wrong. Did I send that to you?
You sent
right?
that to me.
And then I think I told Mike, I go, I watched it twice. I think I'm a broken human.
Yeah. It's like a train wreck.
I haven't seen
really
it. So
car accident. You want to.
Well, the problem is you close your eyes the first time and you're like, all right, well, I'll do it again with my eyes open. And then you're like, oh, I fell for it.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I need to be in on this.
Yeah, it's amazingly amazing.
Right on.
Well, Sean, I'm so glad that you came on. I'm glad that for what it's worth, even before we started this dog and pony show, you were kind of a guiding light. We were able to bounce some questions.
That's the nicest thing anybody said about me all day.
Yeah.
No, you really, we wouldn't be where we're at without your guidance.
Well,
so.
I definitely want to see you guys succeed, and love the show, love what you're doing, and thanks for finally having me on, because this has been fun.
Yeah. No, we had to get a few guests on. Obviously.
We wanted to have a real good show by the time we brought you on.
Exactly.
We're there.
So we want to do you proud.
As soon as we found Kaylee, or Kaylee found us, it cleaned up a lot.
Well, listen, behind every pair of dudes is a good woman, right?
Yours is Jay. So.
Yeah.
So that being said,
I'll drink to that.
Well, that being said, are you ready to break into the 60, 50-something-year-old bottle of wild turkey?
So my glass is empty, and I know what double oak is.
This bottle, because not everybody obviously watches this on YouTube, but for those that do, this still has the federal tax stamp on top of the
That's
cap.
An old bottle.
So the nearest I could tell, this went into the bottle in the late 60s, early 70s.
Did you use it to clean out any hand wounds or anything yet?
No, but we're gonna see if it takes paint off of a kitchen cabinet.
You've had it before, right? Have you drank out of this bottle?
Yeah, I had to have ice in
Okay.
it. So,
Oh boy.
yeah. I mean, it's a little foamy.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
I have to take a picture. So I have a friend who's a master Italian sommelier, one of the only ones who is a master in the U.S., and he's also a master bourbon guy. I got to take a picture of this bottle. I'm going to text him right now because I'm kind of curious what he.
Make sure you get the tax stamp in it. That's falling apart in my hands.
Let's see.
That can't
So
be
we
good.
think that this bottle.
I know this bottle is from the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to my bourbon drinking group. Yeah, I have a bourbon drinking group.
Well,
I feel like we're on Pawn Stars, and he just called in his expert.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm totally rocking my expert right now.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot Mike's whole story to
so
shit.
what?
I was gonna say, he's gonna
No,
come back and be
I
like,
found it online, and it's like the bottle's like I think $1,800 bucks if you can find one that's unopened. So
Nice.
I put ice in it the last time because it burned.
Whoa. Wait, look. If I hold it up to my eye, it starts to water like I'm cutting onions.
Listen, don't get that in your eye. You may
won't.
go blind.
All
Cheers.
right, cheers.
What year's your Pinot, Kaylee?
that's gonna be
That's not bad.
a good 2020.
Yeah, it's a little spicy,
It's a little spicy.
but it's not. It doesn't hurt me.
No, it doesn't.
Tastes
I
better
don't-
than it smells.
Listen.
It's better than the wild. It's better than the wild turkey you get today.
There's a funk to it though.
Yes,
It's like a dusty funk toward the end.
Yep.
It comes in a little spicy. It's a little hot. Definitely a lot of caramel.
Yes.
Maybe a little leather. But the finish is like an odd. It wraps around your tongue.
It's like a woody.
It's like a woody funk, like wet wood that's
Yeah.
been left in a damp, dark basement.
Bottle of liquor that's been left in a damp, dark basement.
You know, living up here, I can.
Hashtag Dusty Funk.
Playing at Coachella.
Yep, along with industrial banana.
That's it.
I mean, it's not horrible.
It's not. I mean, if you're paying $1,800 for this bottle,
Probably not going to be happy.
probably not going to be happy. But you're probably paying $1,800 because of how hard it is to find a bottle of wild turkey that nobody's drank for 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
most of this stuff got put down by a coal miner with a disability back in the mid 70s.
With the black
Well,
lung.
I think when when they lost their arm to the mining accident, this is what they dipped their body in.
Pretty much. But honestly, it's better than the stuff that they have now.
Yeah. No, I mean it's not horrible. It just has a little twang.
Yeah. If you
Country
guys wake
twang.
up tomorrow and you're a little bit green, send pictures.
By tomorrow, do you mean this
we've
afternoon?
or we've gone blind. So no, I've already had all the stuff that was missing out of this bottle I drank in one
Sweet.
sitting. So
No, you know what's awesome is now I have an excuse for why there's hair on my palms.
Oh,
I'll just say it was Mike's Wild Turkey.
that's
You know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah, there you
Oh.
go.
Mike's Wild Turkey gave you the hairy palms.
Well, I'm sorry neither of you can be here to experience the wild turkey that we got here. So
So are we.
damn,
Do you have any crackers or bread?
I do. So Sean, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
It was awesome having you on.
I'd go celebrate with a cigar, but I'm afraid I would light my face on fire.
I know all the alcohol content.
You guys should go get some eggless breakfast burritos after this.
There you
Well,
go.
it's not breakfast time, so that would be silly.
So it'd just be burritos.
Wait, breakfast anytime is good.
Doesn't matter what time it is. It's still
There's
not
no
a breakfast.
eggs, so it's not breakfast burrito. All right, so we're
Yeah.
gonna go back to this. Sean, thanks for coming on. Where can people find you on Instagram?
At Sean P. Holman, or if you want to see some of my my builds, at ADV Jeep, Adventure Jeep, or at Odd Ford for the old flat fender. If you want to check that out.
Also, MotorTrend.
MotorTrend at Truck Show Podcast. If
Truck
you
Show
want to see
Podcast.
our podcast. And,
I mean, we can put all of the Instagrams down in the notes on Instagram.
and I'm serious. If anybody has any questions about any of the stuff I talked about, or MDHCA or East Mojave Heritage Trail, Mojave Road, any of that, feel free to as Lightning would say, slide on into my DMs.
Slide on into the
Slide on
DMs.
in. I'm more than happy. I talk to everybody who sends me a note. So if anybody has questions about stuff, I'm really good about kind of going back and forth. So always happy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do like that you're always available. So we appreciate that.
Well, thanks for coming and slumming on our podcast.
Absolutely. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for the good time,
Cheers.
and we'll see you down the road.
Cheers. Thanks, everybody.